Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I am so thrilled to have you join us today. We started this podcast exploring the idea of having a purpose, and that being a servant's heart, putting that in your business life and your personal life to make a difference in somebody else's life, more importantly, to make an impact. We also are bringing guests on that are going to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you on that servant's heart, on having a purpose, and through many stories and things they've been through are going to teach you that. Here's your call to action today, audience. Think about how you're going to serve yourself first and others today and what impact you create today. The key word is always today. Let's not wait. Let's make an impact in somebody's life today, and then you can move on. Today's episode is sponsored by Pantheon Alliance. It's a huge community of high-income entrepreneurs who are building a massive thought leader platform to help grow and change the world one person at a time. If you want more information on Pantheon Alliance, please reach out and I'll get you all the information. Well, we're coming all the way from Uganda. I'm in California, so this is a long podcast. Kidding, because we have technology. But we're going to talk sales. But she's got a really cool thing she does with sales I've never heard before that we're going to talk about. So let's welcome Prima to the show. Prima, welcome.
Theo, thanks a lot for having me. As I was looking at your show and listening to the previous guests, I heard you asking the question, what does it mean to be a servant, to do business with a servant heart? And I was like, what does doing business with a servant heart mean for me? And I came up with really the ability to go past lip service and actually care. I know people pretend to care and they do that for too much time and people can smell that in the heartbeat. And so my definition was really going beyond lip service and actually caring. For me, it is caring that people stay in the game long enough to win.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for that, because not a lot of people are nice, but they're not kind. Kind is the action you want to take, which leads to my very cool question. You talked before the show about you're looking for people with a secret to help them with sales. Expound upon that.
My work is for the best kept secret. Actually, I have a podcast called The World's Best Kept Secret with Prima Jope. And my work is for you who feels like you have a gift, but right now you feel like a secret. You feel like the clients are not coming, but given clients behind the scenes, you're the best at what you do. But when you look at what's happening in your business and you look at your bank account, you're like, why am I still a secret? Steve talked about what I do as sales, but it's not really sales. I created the invisible sales system for people like me who couldn't sell. I'll tell you, I had a problem with selling. Sending an email and telling someone I had an offer, that got me like having goosebumps. Messaging someone and saying, I have this thing, would you love to talk about it? Would you love to have a conversation? That was so scary for me. So going on social media and saying I have an offer, that I would never do. In fact, even charging for my service, I struggled. So what I ended up doing is I ended up really thinking hard, like if I don't love the script and I don't know, they have to buy or die. There's all these things about selling and you have to get the sale and the customer has to lose and all those things. I was like, okay, I would never sell feeling like that. I would never get another human being and lock them in a box and they have to buy or die. Like, I cannot do that. And I had to find a way to get people to take my services. I had to find a way to serve. And I very quickly realized that if people never paid me, they never paid attention. I've been through the route of like free clients. They didn't show up, they didn't do the work, they didn't change their life. And so I really was very desperate. And I came up with an invisible sales system out of desperation to help myself, because I was the one person who would have someone in the Zoom room literally saying, I am here to talk about your services. And somehow I would find a way not to sell to them. I kept doing that enough times until one day I was like, okay, no, this is not happening. My mom in 2020 got COVID, and I had been online for 9 months. I was helping people. I wasn't charging anything. I was in that cycle of I can't sell, it's not good, it's taking advantage of people, all the feelings that you might have about sales. And my mom got COVID. My bank account, I kid you not, was red. I'd spent 20,000 on a program, on a plan, and I had sold everything in my house. And what ended up happening for me is my mom couldn't even get in a hospital. She had to go home because the hospitals were full. She's 65, she has diabetes, high blood pressure, she's on mental drugs, and she has several other things like for old people. So my brother calls me and says, hey, if we do not have an ICU in that home in 72 hours, mom won't make it.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. What about this selling thing? I don't want to sell to the other person. I know she's struggling, but I can't ask for the money. I started to think like, how am I going to save my mother? I had two options. Figure out this thing of like getting people to pay you. People loved me, they talked to me, I helped them. But when it came to talking about how much I charge, for some reason I just froze. And I was like, no, my mom will die if I don't fix this problem. And I locked myself in a room. 24 hours later, I was out of my panic mode, and I went to work. 48 hours after that, that's a total of 72 hours, I had somehow taken $2,000 from someone. And that's how I saved my mom. That $2,000 became six figures, my first six figures. It became my first six-figure month. It became other clients' breakthrough. And I have never stopped wanting to help someone get paid. Helping to, like, people just simplify the whole thing of, I have something that can help you. You have a problem. Give me money. Let me solve your problem. And for me, my work really comes from that moment. And I am very passionate about getting people to monetize what they do, because I know how hard it really can be to sell your services and go out there and say, I can help you, give me money. It is just harder than anyone can imagine. And I'm just a living testimony of you can really bounce back from it. Yeah,
you are, definitely. It's a great story. And mom's okay, I'm assuming. Your mom recovered from COVID. Good. That's a blessing there. So talk about the invisible sales system. It came from a tragic event. We don't want people to go through that, have to learn. You've built it for us. What is it all about?
It's been several iterations to this point, but it's really 3 steps. And if you do not have consistent clients in the door, the problem is not that you don't know what you're doing. The problem is not that you don't have a gift. The problem is you're focusing on the wrong things. So this system is about zoning in and focusing on 3 things that will bring a client in the door. You can multiply those clients and you can add leverage as you go. So the first one is solving a high-value problem. Most people solve problems that are nice to solve. The problem that I want you to solve is a house on fire. Problem that someone cannot put off. So when you go in the marketplace, the problem you're solving, is it something someone can push under the rug for another day? If that's the case, then you have to work 10 times harder to help people. Find bigger problems that will cost people 5 figures and find problems that people cannot put off. If a woman is in labor, you're not going to put that off to another day, whether you have money or don't have money. When you have an accident and blood is splashing out of your head, whether you have money or not, that problem is going to get solved. When your house is literally on fire, it doesn't matter if you can afford the fire extinguishers or can't afford them, that house is getting a solution. In 2022, I had a wedding, and my husband, who actually met on Facebook, is crazy, went in ICU twice the month of our wedding. And I'm sharing this story because we drove 7 hours to find the ICU. We were at mom's house. We had to drive to the city. That was 7 hours. And when we entered the facility, the only facility that had an ICU in the country, I had to pay $1,500 before they would touch you. In that moment, I didn't even care if I had the money or didn't have it. I didn't care if I could get the money or didn't. Like, my house was on fire. The man was going to die. What was I going to tell his parents? He left the UK, came to Uganda, and he was going to die in my hands. And I was like, just save the man. Like, I don't even care how much it costs. So when you can solve the caliber of problems like that, then your business conversations, your sales conversations look different, because there's nothing to sell, because people are desperate to solve a problem. So that's the first point. The second point is get in front of buyers. A lot of best kept secrets, this is their problem. They go and look for leads, more leads, nurture, give content. The problem is there's a big chunk of people who are not looking for solutions. They're just in the market and they don't have a house on fire. They don't. They have a problem, but they're like, I'll think about that. Man, you're our best, yeah. Next month, next year. People have problems, but they can push them behind the curtain. So what needs to happen is identify buyers, get in front of them, and spend time with buyers. This is something that I wish people really understand, because once you understand this, you cannot go back. There is 3 types of buyers. The first one is the buyer who is like me. House is burning, smoking, and we have nothing to do other than fix it. There's another kind of buyer who is, I know I have a problem, but I am very hesitant. I don't have like full confidence. I'm hesitant. I'm looking here, I'm looking there, and I'm like, should I not? They're buyers, but they're like, they need a little push to move. And those people need a clear offer, and they need a deadline, and they need real scarcity. Not this fake scarcity and fake deadlines of the internet. I have 1 slot, and this offer goes away when that 1 slot is taken. And when that slot is taken, close the doors. I have 3 slots, and this offer goes away in 72 hours. And when that time happens, close doors. The problem with the market is everyone has clickbait type of urgency and scarcity. And so people are always open. Always open doesn't help. So get in front of buyers, know who the buyers are, and activate the buyers. There's a 3rd type of buyer who is the looker. The looker is just looking. They will never comment on your things. They will never do anything, but they're looking. They know they want answers, but they're just looking, and they will only respond to someone who has the right offer. So put offers out. Tell someone you have an offer, because people are looking and they are not talking. And unless you open your mouth and say, I have this thing which can help you, would you like to have it? I have this thing here. I have 3 slots. I close down in 72 hours. Would you like some of it? Unless you get to a point where you can say that, you're missing out on all the 3 buyers. And the last one is move away from, I want people to come to me. Attraction marketing works, and it's amazing for the people that have built a brand. But if your brand hasn't reached a level where people want you, then we have to be very creative. I have found that the safest way to get paid, or even the big people that get paid, how they sell is exclusive invitation selling. The biggest brands, the biggest folks, how they sell is invitation selling. I kid you not, Steve. I do not know how many offers I have bought where someone has reached out and said, Prima, I have this thing. You would be crazy not to take me on it. Let's have a chat. And I was like, sure, let's do it. A lot of people have like a bad name when it comes to like reaching out to people and inviting them to buy because of cold DMs and I don't know, spamming and all of the things and cold calling. But there is a space for genuine connection. There's a space for exclusivity. There's a place for coming from a place of seeing someone and saying, hey, Steve, I know you're doing this amazing thing here. I have studied your work and I see what you're doing. I do believe that this thing over here may be helpful for you. Would you love to have a conversation? Not just saying, hey, Steve, buy my thing, but like saying, Steve, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have seen these things. I really think you'd be a great contribution to this thing I'm going to do. Would you love to have a conversation? And knowing that yes is okay, no is okay, and you're not trying to get Steve and lock him in a cupboard until he says yes. Knowing that it's totally fine. Even saying, hey, Steve, if it's not a fit, no problem. That alone can change your game. Like literally, those are the 3 things. 1, solve a high value problem. 2, identify the buyers and stick with the buyers until you do not need people to pay you. You can serve everyone for sure. But if you see that you're getting tired of the game and people are not coming in, stick with the buyers first. And then you can serve everybody else later. But right now, stick with the buyers. And then 3, get comfortable inviting people. And I really go like deep in the 2K playbook. If anyone wants this, it's just sat in the community. And there may be a link if Steve is up to it, and we can just link the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put the link in the show notes. Give us a story of somebody, one of your clients that used the invisible sales system.
The first client is me. I've moved from like 2K. So I saved my mom 2K. In that week, I probably ended up with like 10K. And then this thing goes to like 2K a month. And I'm like, oh, okay, this stuff is possible. I keep doing that. I now get to like 2K in 2 weeks. And I'm like, really? Like, is this happening? And then 2K per week. And I have been in a place where I saw like 97,000 in a month. Now, I do not know how much 2Ks are those per day or what. Because even if you make 2K per day, it's like 40. So imagine like making 2K per half day. Like that's the potential. The other example I can give you is Florence, one of my clients. She came to me with like 0, like 0 audience. And she wasn't even like super confident with her skill. Like we had to even dig to find it. We had to like drill to find the skill. She was very good at talking to people in DMs. She was very good at conversations. She was very good at like writing content and getting people to message her. And she was struggling to know how she could help people. And I said, Florence, every day you talk to a ton of people, you make a lot of money. Why don't we help people with this? What she was doing at first is she was helping me sell my stuff. She was like, I want to be your affiliate. I love your work. I want to tell everyone about it. I was like, Florence, let's pack up what you actually do and sell it. And she decided that she was going to help people master DMs. So like on social media, how to sell in DMs. Within 5 months, I saw Florence move like from 10K to 6 figures, like literally to 100,000. And I was like, wow.
Powerful.
There is something that can happen when you see clients in the door, when people start paying you, when people start paying attention. There is something that can happen internally that I can't begin to explain to you. When things are working, a lot of people, what I have realized, Steve, is a lot of people don't have the biggest muscle internally. And so when things don't work and don't work and don't work, they can easily like throw in the towel and go, things are not working. But what can happen is when you start to help yourself gets people in the door, somehow the muscle starts to grow. When someone comes today and another person comes next week, and somehow your muscle, your confidence internally begins to say, you know, you got that client and you got that client, so this thing works. You give yourself proof that you should stay in the game. But when you don't figure out this phase of, how do I get a client in? You can very quickly weaken the muscle to zero. And that really can be evidenced by how many people start a business today. They have a great gift, and next year they're like gone.
Yeah, no, we're coming to the end here. This is such a great tip and so humble the way you do it. I love the secret part. What's the name of your podcast and where can they find it?
My podcast is The World's Best Kept Secret, but the best place to go is my school community. I have a community for best kept secrets. What I really love to do is get people hopping in and personally talk to them, get them to the 2K code and see if they can start to get clients. What I want to give people right now is not even like more information. Like, let's hand you the code and let's see, like, can you get someone in this week? Can we get more people in? Because every day that you spend without simplifying the client getting process, that's a day that you spend going further and further away from staying in the game. So I have a podcast. It's called The World's Best Kept Secret. It's on all platforms. What I do there is I get people who are best kept secrets and help them spotlight their work and share their work. But if you want to learn from me and you want to learn like what to do, the best place to go is my community on school, which is for the world's best kept secret. And that's where really like I would like people to go.
Yeah, we'll put that link in the chat. And it's been such a great show. Let's end with a really quick question. So I've reserved a restaurant in Uganda for you, table of 4. There's, of course, you're sitting in one chair. In the other 3 empty chairs, who would you invite to talk to, dead or alive? Why would you invite them? And what food would you order?
Food. I probably wouldn't order food. I would order my cocktail, which is the black iced tea. There
you go. Okay.
I would invite Dan Kennedy, because I have bought every book of his. I will probably just keep reading them, whether he's dead or alive. He's inspired me so much. The third chair, how many chairs do I have? Is it 2 or 3?
2 more chairs. 2 more chairs.
2 more chairs. Who else? Dan Kennedy for sure. The other person would be GloriaMayfield-Banks. She really inspires me. And who would I put on the other chair? I am now struggling because there are many. Who would I put on there?
Yeah, it's a hard to skip. I know.
I know who I would put on the other chair. I would put Leila Hormozi on the other chair, because I love how she does like operations and business, and let's get people sold on the dream and let's build a real business. I like Leila Hormozi. I would put Leila Hormozi and then Dan Kennedy on this side.
She's a badass rock star businesswoman. I agree. You know, Prima, thank you so much. How can people connect with you? Just at school, or is there any other way they can connect with you?
My main platform is school. We'll put a link. And what I would love for people to do is come to school so we can give you the 2K playbook. I am very, very desperate to hand you this playbook where I share deeper about like, how do we actually do these things? How do we create your high value problem? How do we get in front of buyers? Like, let's do this for you. Like, where are the buyers? Show me in my world, in my markets, where are they? And then like invitation. What messages do we send? What messages don't they send? What do we say when they reply? Like, how do we do this? I would love to give you the gift that I got when my mom was dying, which is identifying how to create cash on demand, how to create clients as and when I need them. Because I feel like it's the best gift I can give you, because you already have a gift. That's the only gift I can give you.
Yeah, that's a magical gift. Well, thank you again. Reach out to Prima. Go to school. Like I said, I'll have the links in the chat. You'll be able to connect with her. Hey, we're selling every day. We're selling at home. We're selling at work. We're selling everywhere. to be better in sales will change your life, and she can help you do that. With that being said, me and Prima want to thank you all for watching or listening to this podcast, and we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.